Horizon West is growing. City of Orlando government expresses contempt for America. Foundation Academy sports coach helps in Ukraine. And a diner in our community that will allow you to feel at home. The date is July 7th, 2022. We're going to go through these stories and more. Welcome to West Orange on the Go. My name is Austin Arthur, and this is where we do local news and comments. And when I say local news, I mean hyper-local. West Orange. This is your news. We begin in 10 seconds.
You're listening to West Orange on the Go. Brought to you by the West Orange Times and Observer. Hosted by Austin Arthur. West Orange on the Go.
As growth continues in Horizon West, open space is becoming increasingly more difficult to find, making it difficult for organizations to host large-scale community events in the area. One of the most popular spaces that has hosted events in the past is the 3 acres of green space near the large movie theater in Hamlin. Boyd Development Corporation, a Winter Garden-based real estate development company, has both hosted and allowed for events to take place in the space in the past. However, as the area is being approved for additional retail development, the space is becoming unavailable permanently. David Terry, president of Legacy Events for Education and the mastermind behind the recent Central Florida Chili Cook-Off, said the nonprofit has run events in Hamlin for the past 2 years. Quote, "The developer has been incredibly kind and generous to donate the use of available land for our fundraising efforts. They were clear from the beginning that that space would eventually be leased and we would have to move on," end quote. But there is hope. There is an upcoming park in the works named Horizon West Regional Park. And that is a 215-acre park. Now, that's about 11 times the size of most other regional parks. It'll have room for bikes and pedestrian trails, a playground, picnic pavilions, restrooms, parking, and a whole lot more. Now, construction is set to begin on the park later this year, but that is anticipated to be completed in the fall of 2024. All right, so we will look out for that, and it is raining where I am today, and I don't know if you hear that. But if you do, that's what's going on. So sorry about the rain, but, you know, we're in the summer season, and this is Florida. All right, let's look at the next story. And this one, you know, I almost don't even want to talk about it. I got so worked up over the weekend. You know, I'm here with my family, getting ready for this beautiful celebration of America, you know, which is a celebration of our communities and our people and all of the wonderful blessings that this country has brought us. And, you know, I'm getting ready to be in a good mood. And then I see coming across my screen here, the City of Orlando government. So they sent out an email questioning why anybody would want to celebrate America. They said, quote, "A lot of people probably don't want to celebrate our nation right now, and we can't blame them. When there is so much division, hate, and unrest, why on earth would you want to have a party celebrating any of it?" End quote. Now, to me, this is just really quite a disgusting display of hatred itself. And what did it do? Of course, it created all kinds of division online, the exact thing they were pretending to be against. Very typical for the current Orlando city government. And I've had enough, to be honest. You know, I typically don't get involved publicly with comment about politics, but this transcends politics. This is about our country. This is about the place we live. You know, I think it's quite grotesque, and I'm tired of being quiet about it. So I love my country. I love my neighbors. And I believe that this is the greatest country the world has to offer. So I will stand against the Orlando city government until they get their act together. You know, that's why we are blessed to live in West Orange County. You know, there's a lot of trouble in terms of the leadership in other parts of this county. And when you start hating on America, and not to mention when you start hating on my faith. I put a post up about how much we're blessed in America. And, some jerk took the opportunity to mock my God. Well, I'm tired of that too. So you want to mock my religion. You want to spit on my country. Well, I'm not going to be silent about it anymore. All right, let's get back to the news. And let's be on alert for the haters out there. We gotta call them out. All right, now here's somebody that's not a hater, and that is Krista Carter. Krista Carter is saying goodbye to the West Orange Chamber of Commerce after 21 years at the organization. She was hired as Member Services Coordinator in 2001 and promoted to Vice President in 2005. Now, she recently accepted a position as Executive Communications Manager at the Orlando headquarters of the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. Now, the president of the chamber, Stina, a great human being who you might know, a great leader in our community, she said, quote, "For nearly every weekday for the past 21 years, I have entered the chamber building to see Krista Carter working at her desk. Even though I will miss her, there will be traces of Krista throughout all we continue to do for the years to come. Krista brought so much to this organization, and I am proud for the next phase in her career." Now, the chamber has grown under the leadership of Stina and Krista at her side. There were about 4 employees and 650 members when Krista started her job. Today, there are 7 employees and nearly 1,100 members. All right, and the full story by the great Amy Questenberry in this week's paper. Now, how do you get this week's paper? You go to orangeobserver.com, all right? Or you check it out on the Facebook page. The big red boxes, if you see one around town, you get your free paper in there, okay? So I encourage you to subscribe on orangeobserver.com. And on to some hyper-local sports news. The West Orange High School football team is the first one in Orange County to provide its athletes the opportunity to have some extra protection on the field for those players who choose to do so. The Warriors' head football coach, Coach Thompson, recently read about the new Axiom Helmets and how they are custom fitted for each player. What makes these new helmets unique is the inner pads, which are fitted to the player's head and made of polyurethane solution. These custom pads are engineered to lessen the impact of helmet-to-helmet contact, one of the most common causes for concussions in football. Another new protective feature is the Insight Smart Helmet technology. Insight provides action information that can help coaches and athletic trainers improve player and program performances, end quote. However, because of supply chain issues that are still going on, the Insight component of the Warriors' Axiom Helmets will be installed during their reconditioning process during the next year's off season. Next story. Sometimes life works as a big puzzle. Sometimes God plays a hand so that puzzle can be completed. This was the case for Foundation Academy elementary physical ed coach Brad Hayway, also a veteran from the U.S. Army. Well, he returned recently to the United States after spending 3.5 weeks in Europe delivering humanitarian aid for Ukraine. Everything started in April when Haywood felt a calling to serve after seeing the war between Russia and Ukraine escalate. He said, quote, "Whenever I tell this story, it's not about recognition or being commended for doing a notable cause, because at the end of the day, I'm a regular person. But whenever I feel called, whenever I feel God beating in my heart, I want to be obedient to that. Sometimes I fail, but here what I want my story to be is that God is going to pin you. He is going to call you. He puts something in your heart. And the question is, what are you going to do? When we are obedient, someone gets loved." End quote. Well, obviously a great coach. Now, wouldn't you just love to have that good man influencing, pouring into your child's life, your grandchild? Well, this story is perfect because that is the kind of people you get at Foundation Academy. And they're a sponsor of this program. My child goes to that school. I love it. They serve grades pre-K through the 12th grade. You go all the way through, okay? 3 beautiful campuses, all right? I'm at the Plant Street campus. My daughter's in 2nd grade. 1 great school, all Christ-centered. Foundation Academy, where character matters. All right, now speaking of Foundation Academy, during the school year, on Wednesdays, I have a routine with my daughter, and what that routine is we go over to the Winter Garden restaurant. Now, that's right across the street from the Plant Street campus, the Foundation Academy Plant Street campus. So we have a little breakfast there around 7 a.m., and then we walk on over to the school. A beautiful routine for me and my daughter to ensure that we spend time together. You got to do routines like that to make sure that life doesn't get in the way. So I have fond memories of this place. And I figured after the Orlando piece, I didn't want to end with that, something heavy. So I said, you know what the final page is going to be? It's going to be about the Winter Garden restaurant. They got a great piece this week about the Winter Garden restaurant. And it reads, Winter Garden restaurant is the kind of place where the regulars are so comfortable, they will venture into the kitchen if they arrive in the morning before their server. And that is just the way the owners, Charles and Ann Lewis, want it. From Ann Lewis, quote, some of our regulars, the locals, have been coming here for years. They come in the door and the server might not be here yet. And they come in and start making their own coffee. And they have their table and their routine, end quote. Charles and Ann Lewis built a successful restaurant in Ocoee, and they are doing the same in Winter Garden. Anna Lewis has a passion for the food industry. She has worked at the Polynesian Village Resort since 2003, and she is part owner of Front Row Sports Bar and Grill in Ocoee. Now, that's a great spot. I've been there quite a few times over the years, and my buddy, Jake, you guys know him, Jake of all trades. Well, he's been starting this Facebook group, really a community group, of business owners. And he hosts an event there. I think he just did his 2nd one last night, I believe. And just a wonderful guy, a great group, and a great spot, So we love West Orange. If you want to check a place out, you get a cold brew, some good food. Front Row Sports Bar and Grill. And if you're a business owner, I want you to check out Jake's group. Just go on Facebook and look for Jake of all trades. Okay, so let's continue on with the story here. They own the diner with their 2 children, Jordan and Jenna. It's a true family affair. The 4 had to replace everything in the building, they said, including a new air conditioning unit. Now, the piece goes on, and they talk about Front Row in Ocoee, the restaurant there, and how they do a bingo game every Monday night, and the proceeds go to a good cause, and they're looking to do some stuff at the restaurant here in Winter Garden, too, and even expanding it to maybe some dinner. So that'd be interesting. It's just, I chose this piece because, this is who we are. This is West Orange, just great small-time style community, great people with a great all-American spirit, hardworking, just trying to raise their family, run a business. So these are great people. I encourage you to check out both their restaurants in 2 of our great West Orange cities, the one in Ocoee and the one in Winter Garden. As for me and my house, we will love America, we will love our God, and we will love our community. This has been Austin Arthur with the West Orange Times and Observer. And until next week, have a happy and blessed weekend.
West Orange on the Go is brought to you by the West Orange Times and Observer. Hosted by Austin Arthur. West Orange on the Go.